Good morning and welcome to the Industry Expo.
Mă bucur să văd că după pandemie, încet, încet, am reluat evenimentele și an de an venim în număr tot mai mare la evenimente business to business.
I'm happy to see that after pandemic, more and more exhibitors come and turn back to the exhibitions and the style of events.
Asta înseamnă că am încercat și online în pandemie, dar ne-am dat seama că totuși în industrie să ne vedem, să strângem mâna, contează foarte mult și de multe ori ne ajută în dezvoltarea afacerilor.
As we tried also the online version of the exhibitions, everybody saw that it was not as good and efficient as meeting people and having a face-to-face event like this.
Și vedem din înregistrări că nu doar furnizorii, expozanții apreciază asta, ci și vizitatorii, achizitorii. Discutând cu aceștia, mi-au transmis că pentru ei și pentru companiile pe care le reprezintă este foarte important ca de câteva ori pe an să reușim să ne întâlnim, să discutăm proiectele punctuale și să vedem cum putem să colaborăm, să îmbunătățim proiectele existente și să facem ca până la urmă business-urile să se dezvolte într-un mod sustenabil.
And as we also see not only by the registration of the exhibitors, suppliers and participants, also the visitors are very interested and keen on meeting and having B2B events more times a year and establishing relations, business relations in this order.
Bun, ca să nu mai lungim vorba, l-aș invita acum pe domnul Adrian Sandu din partea Asociației Constructorilor de Automobile să ne spună câteva cuvinte.
I would like to invite Mr. Adrian Sandu from the Automotive Industry Association to tell us some words regarding the event.
Bună dimineața!
Good morning.
Sunteți ok dacă vorbesc în engleză ca să scurtăm timpul? Să fim mai eficienți. Nu. Vorbim doar în engleză și avem slide-uri și în română și în engleză ca să fim eficienți și să mergem cât mai repede la întâlnire. So, good morning everyone. Nice to see you again. I hope everyone is fine. We have two wars in place, Ukraine and Israel, so we are in the middle. But I think everyone wake up in the morning good, very good, and with a lot of enthusiasm to have business meetings and to develop business meetings. I'm Adrian Sandu, Secretary General of the Association of Automotive Manufacturers of Romania, and I would like to give you some hints about what is happening in the industry, in this industry, and that what will happen next. I hope. I'm not Nostradamus, but I hope to give you some forecasts. So, in Europe, because we were in Europe, there are a lot of automotive plants manufacturing vehicles, cars, passenger cars, buses, trucks, but also engines, and as you can see, the last issue on the table, batteries for electric vehicles. So the industry is continuously developing and has a new trend. Last year we are talking about passenger cars, which are small cars. The production went to around 10.8 million units in Europe, minus 3 million compared to 2019. So you see there is a shrink of passenger cars production in Europe. Why is that? We have COVID, we have electronic components, but we will also have a market change. You see, no more diesel, new cars on the market, more hybrid and more electric vehicles on the market, and that's why the market is changing. Romania was last year on the 6th place in Europe as production of passenger cars with more than 500,000 units. This year we hope we go over that figure, but we still have 3 months to go. In Romania, the total turnover of the sector is around 41 billion euros. It's generated 72% by the suppliers, which are present here in Romania, and 28% by the two OEMs, Dacia and Ford, that together are manufacturing important figures. You can see here the trend, and we are representing 40% of national GDP and 29% of the national exports. So you see how important is the automotive sector for the Romanian industry. And Dacia, Ford, and Daimler are the main exporters of Romania from all the sectors, not from only the automotive industry. Challenges. We're speaking about challenges because we all have challenges. We have internal challenges in Romania as tax system, which is announced to be changed this year until the end of this year, and that will impact also the next years to come. But we also have external changes like CO2 emissions. If you have a factory that is manufacturing anything, you have to follow the footprint of CO2 products that you are making and that you are purchasing and that you are delivering to your customers in order to drop the CO2 footprint to zero until 2050. So this will be a great challenge for everyone. Regulation compliance. We are seeing more and more regulations concerning materials that we are using in manufacturing our products. Materials that are volatile, also plastic, also lead products or lead-based materials in order to manufacture our products. China, I will speak about later, but you'll see. And as a conclusion, transition ahead. In the automotive industry, we are facing the most important transition ever in the sector. We are going from diesel and gasoline engines to zero-emission vehicles. With zero-emission vehicles, that means either electrification, full electrification, either using of synthetic fuels. So there are no other ways. China. Chinese OEMs in overseas market. You know, 20 years ago, all the OEMs in Europe and in the world went to China to manufacture cars. Now, all the Chinese manufacturers are coming to Europe and other countries to manufacture and sell cars. So it's a vice versa. The map changed. The globe is round, so now it's on the other side. And that is happening also in Europe. You see Volvo. Volvo is now 100% Chinese. You see other brands in UK that are bought by Chinese companies. And not only, and you'll see more in the future. Fact sheet, in September 2023. China is the third largest market for new vehicle exports of the UK. But see here, 14,000 vehicles were exported from EU to China in 2022, valuing 24.4 billion euros. Vice versa, 561,000 vehicles were imported from EU into the EU from China in 2022, valuing 9.7 billion euros. So you have to figure here, you can ask yourself, why the number here is bigger than here? Because the first one, they are more cheaper cars. You can see, you can split, you can make the ratio and you'll see that Chinese cars are more cheaper. And either they are having custom import taxes, they are still cheaper. And they will be cheaper continuously, and that's a big danger for the European market. But of course, we also need batteries that use a lot of raw materials coming from China, and we cannot start a commercial war with China as Europe. So we'll see how this will go, but this will be a great challenge for all the European automotive industry. I told you about green revolution. Everything we do must have a low footprint of CO2. And electrification. We talk about market, and we are seeing the changing. So, petrol, diesel, battery, electric vehicles, this is for Europe. And you can see here in Romania. And the market for diesel passenger cars is shrinking, is lower and lower each month. For gasoline is growing. And as an idea, do you know that a gasoline car has more CO2 emissions than a diesel one? It's a fact. With 20 to approximately 40% higher CO2 emissions than the diesel car. So the CO2 footprint of the new market for vehicles increased since diesel was cancelled. But we hope to have more hybrid, more electric, and more LPG cars in the future. And in my presentation, sorry Claudio if I took a lot of time, we're ACAROM, the Association of Automotive Manufacturers in Romania. We're the only association recognized by the Romanian government with the status of public utility association. And we are a member of European Automotive Manufacturers Association. Thank you very much. If you have questions, I'm here.
Mulțumesc, Adrian. Ne pregătim de prezentarea de Smith, dar înainte aș invita-o la recomandarea Dacia Caron pe doamna Cristina Apahideanu să ne spună câteva cuvinte din partea Intertech. 5 minute, vă rog.
Mulțumesc frumos.
So we'll listen now to Mrs.
Cristina Apahideanu. Bună dimineața! Mă bucur să fiu aici, să am ocazia să vă vorbesc și să vă prezint cu această ocazie platforma noastră care se cheamă Emission X. Este o platformă pentru contabilizarea, calculul, raportarea și gestionarea amprentei de carbon.
So I'm happy to present you our Emission X program that is an intelligent platform for
I can speak in English if it's okay. Okay. So first of all, about our company, Entertech Software. Then a little bit about the current context that pointed us to work in this direction of the carbon print emission accounting. The case of automotive industry. We will have a brief look at the numbers in this industry, and then about the platform, which is about the carbon print management. So Entertech Software is a fairly young company, but the core team has been working together for more than 10 years, and we are seasoned professionals with experience mainly in digital transformation. And currently our team has expanded with experts in the environment and sustainability field. We have also developed a proprietary methodology that ensures the success of the digital transformation projects, because we discovered that more than 70% of IT projects were considered a failure for different reasons, so we decided to use our experience to lower this rate in the case of our projects. As I said, we have a team of very experienced people. We have been working, which is very important, with complex organizations. So we are used to dealing with complex processes, transformations of large scale, which require special competencies. How did we come to this? Basically, there is an increasing pressure from the European legislation, not only, also global. So the corporate directive, which was adopted last year in November by the European Parliament, as well as the reporting standards adopted in July this year, actually are requiring large companies in the first wave, but also this is to be expanded to all companies until 2028, to report also on sustainability indicators, not only financial indicators, and to disclose information about the sustainability of their businesses. Basically, what does it mean? There are three critical consequences, as we say. All large companies are required to report on these indicators. I think in 2025 will be the first reporting required, but for 2024 data, which means that you already have to start collecting this information now, and if possible to prepare your digital infrastructure to be ready for this kind of activity. More importantly, banks and all the financiers and all the, such as investment funds or any other financing institution, they will be obliged to assess the carbon print of their investments. That means that they will be investing less and less in initiatives and projects and products that are not environment friendly or that are not sustainable. That means basically that any company, even the small one, that requires a loan or a credit, will have to calculate their carbon print of their investment. If it's for agriculture or for anything, they will have to account for this carbon print, and this may lead to more expensive credit or even not having access to the loan. And third consequence is that all the businesses will have to include these sustainability KPIs in their performance, overall performance management framework. What does it mean? There is a big problem related to the data. Of course, we know we have to calculate the carbon print, but how do we do that, and where do we get the data from? There are large volumes of data required, and they are not available. They are unstandardized, they are scattered, sometimes on paper, sometimes in legacy systems. You have to collect them from everywhere and to standardize them. Scope 3 emissions, so the emissions that are related to your business ecosystems, they are also counted in your own carbon print, which means that if you work with clients or suppliers that have high carbon emissions, they will also reflect on you in the proportion that you work with them. So that means that in order to calculate your carbon print, you need data from your business ecosystem, from your suppliers and from your clients. Globally, there are no unified standards at the moment. There are a few frameworks that are applicable, but they are still work in progress. So this adds a little bit to the confusion. And also there is a difficulty to integrate these sustainability ESG KPIs into a coherent performance framework. If we look globally, even the largest companies have a problem with this. Basically, although 96% of them have established some objectives in terms of reducing their carbon print, only 11% have managed to achieve these objectives in the last 5 years. Only 9% managed to have a comprehensive measurement of the carbon print, and 81% even admit at the moment that they are omitting carbon emissions from their own operations, not to mention from suppliers and clients, but own operations. Scope 3 emissions is still not reported by 66%, and the error rate is very high. Even in this case where it is reported, it's more than 40%. The structure in the automotive industry comes a little bit, or mainly from the Scope 3 emissions. This is the bad news, because this is the hardest part to calculate. And mainly it's about the tailpipe emissions, so the emissions from using the fuel, which will decrease in time due to the electric vehicles expansion, and also from the material production. So these are the two categories that contribute the most to the carbon print in automotive industry. The material, the carbon print coming from the material is expected to grow in time and to reach around 60% before 2040. That means that you will have to start exchanging data and information with your suppliers to know how much, what is the carbon print of the materials you are using. That forces actually the companies to integrate their informational flows and data exchange flows with their suppliers and clients. So this is where we come in. We agreed that is a big challenge, and we decided to tackle that with the generous funding from Innovation Norway. We developed an intelligent platform that actually deals with the data problem. So We are using artificial intelligence module to capture the data from wherever we can find it, to extract it from unstructured documents such as quality certificates or technical documentation. These are documents that traditionally are not captured in the accounting. So in legacy systems, you can only find so much information, but the rest is not available. And then using also AI, we are processing this data. We are calculating the carbon print, mainly using the GHG protocol methodology. And then we allow partners to exchange data with us. So we have an integration system that allows for data exchange and have a carbon print management complete framework. I will not, sorry, this remote is too sensitive. My only message here is that we can solve complex problems. We are providing a very solid and reliable and secure data infrastructure. We are solving the compliance aspect, so you can report on what is required, validate and capture the unstandardized data, and integrate also your partners in this system. And the packages are split depending on the digital maturity of the companies. More advanced and more mature companies who have the data available can go for the basic package. Other companies can also include us in the development of this digital infrastructure and processes that are needed to be able to report on your carbon print. As I said, our team is able to deliver on this. We have certifications and qualifications from digital transformation, but also from environment and sustainability. And this is our core team, our management team. George is the CEO. He's a very seasoned professional. And myself and Marius and Dan, which is a very experienced also IT manager in data structure. So thank you for your attention. And if you need more information, I will be around so we can meet and talk today. Thank you.
Mulțumim, Cristina. Iar acum, din partea de Smith, o invit pe Roxana Gâta să ne spună câteva cuvinte.
I invite now Mrs. Roxana Gâta from DS Smith to...
Mulțumesc. I will also switch to English because it's easier like this and not to take so much time. So you've heard from our previous speakers that sustainability is in your heart and in our hearts, and we want to make a positive impact on the environment. And now we will show you how we are redefining the packaging for the changing world and also for the industrial segment. DS Smith was founded in London in 40s, and we are helping our customer to find solutions for their packaging which are sustainable and innovative. And we have in our business 3 divisions: the paper division, the packaging division, and recycling. So in this way, we are closing the loop and we have circular economy. We are present in the Southeast region with 3 countries, Romania, Bulgaria, and Greece. And in Romania, we are lucky to have all 3 divisions. We have paper, packaging, and recycling. We have our factories in Timișoara and in Gimbav. And you can see on the map the other point of work that we are having in Romania. We are present with more than 60,000 square meters, and we have around 450 employees, which offer to our customers sustainable solution in Romania. Okay, so we are redefining packaging for a changing world. How we are doing this? We think differently. We innovate together with our customers. We put the sustainability to our heart. And of course, we develop the right strategies for our customers. Why we are doing this? In the last years, we've seen that digital technology has changed the way we shop and the way we live. We are providing sustainable packaging and not only having sustainability targets, but we only have actions and facts. And actually this year we invested in our factory in Gimbav more than 13 million euros in order to decrease the carbon emission and to increase our capabilities and capacities. The customer wants more from their product with less impact on the environment, and also new thinking and a new approach to packaging, it was needed in order to reduce carbon emissions. So in here you can see what is happening in the electronics industry today. We've seen a demand increasing for sustainable products. Inflation had a huge impact on electronics. We needed to reshore electronic production, and of course we had components shortage. On the survey that DS Smith had on 2022, we've seen some result on the electronic business, and we can see that 65% of the electronics respondents understand and can measure the impact of their packaging solution. We've also seen that 50% of electronics respondents estimated that between 10 and 25% of the space is wasted in transport. And of course, we've seen that companies, 2 in 3 companies already are fully committed to circular economy principles and have partially implemented it in their supply chain. In order to see a little bit the future in the electronics market, we've seen that it will be a huge focus on the semiconductors. Emerging high-tech good segments will appear, such as batteries, IoT, and automation technologies, but also the global competition, as the previous speaker said, it will be intensified, and Asia will grow its influence, as you've seen previously. What we are doing in the segment of packaging industrial, we are specialized in heavy duty, in sustainable solution, in replacing problematic plastics such as foams, EPS, and so on, for all the industries, automotive, electronics, pharma, medical, and so. And also we are providing our customer with solution that could be certified with dangerous good or ISTA test or drop test and more services like this. We are providing solutions that are circular ready. That means we look into the right size of the packaging for good palletization, transport, and so on. We are eliminating the space, the waste, and the pollution, and we are using responsible resources. So we are looking also in our tool that helps our customer to develop a better solution and to reach out their sustainability targets. We are looking on the supply chain of our customer from TCO perspective. We are having a tool that is able to compare the solution that we propose with the existing one from the commercial perspective, but also from sustainability point of view and CO2 emissions. And also we develop a unique tool, which is called Circular Design Metrics, in order to sum up the solution from sustainability point of view, and in order to see how greener you are, because the greener the circle, the lower the emission of CO2 are. And in here you can see some examples in which we change the styrofoam inserts with cardboard that are easy to use, easy to expand, and for sure will protect the product as the foam did, but we will have the lowest emission that was in the foam case. In here another study case in which we did the same, and you can see that from orange circle we transformed it into a greener one, which is safe for our planet. And also we are having solution in order to replace the metal, the steel. You can see here a packaging for an engine that was replaced with 100% cardboard packaging. And of course, we are looking, as I mentioned earlier, in all the industries at cost and material optimization with automation, packaging efficiency, easy to manipulate for the operators, and where it's possible, we are looking to reuse the packaging. From perspective of sustainability, as I was mentioning, we are closing the loop. We can help you to close the loop. We are looking into problematic plastic, and we are looking to eliminate pollution and waste. In regards of the electronics, we are using sustainability materials from sustainability sourced paper in order to optimize the size of packaging, to use less resources and lightweight packaging. And now on the last slide, I want you to invite you all on November 24th on our webinar, which is called Unlock the Power of Sustainability in Industrial Packaging. You can scan the QR code and you can register there, and we are looking forward to see you there. And you will see there that we will have valuable insight and expertise from professional speakers from the industry leading companies. And last but not least, we are waiting at our stand today to speak how we can provide you the solution sustainable and fitted for your business. We are at the stand 51. DS Meet, look for us, we'll be there. Thank you so much.
Mulțumesc, Roxana. Iar acum, din partea Key Factory, îl invit pe George Luparu să ne spună de asemenea câteva cuvinte.
I invite Mr. George Lupa from Key Factory to present the company.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I believe my slides are in Romanian, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm going to talk in English, so that's okay. My name is George Luparu. I represent Key Factory. We are a technology company dedicated to helping manufacturing companies become more productive, more efficient, and more sustainable through means of digitalization and innovation. Before I go a bit more into detail on what we do exactly and how we do it, I would like to talk about some harsh realities, let's say, when it comes to technology adoption in the manufacturing sector. There's a very limited number of manufacturing companies who have the capabilities and the possibilities to have large IT departments or innovate and find diverse solutions in order to digitalize and optimize their activities, like, for example, what we heard from DS Smith. The reality is that the majority of manufacturing companies, and not only in Romania, this is generally valid across the world, especially in Germany, the industrial hub of Europe, a lot of companies are still at the level of Industry 2.0 or maybe 3.0. The challenges come from multiple reasons. Like Mrs. Apahidanu said, yes, more than 70% of IT projects are bound to fail even before they start. Because they don't start with the right concepts, either the client doesn't know exactly what he wants, either the supplier doesn't know exactly what to offer, either the systems take a very long time to be developed and implemented, and this causes great losses. We've seen example of projects where in ERP implementations, for example, they started with one CFO. A few years later, the system was still not implemented, the CFO changed, and then everything had to be restarted from zero. Our approach is a bit different. We are a product company and a startup type company. What this means is that we're not necessarily in the beginning. We've been doing this for more than 6 years. So there's about 6 years and more than 2 million euros investment in this product. And we have managed to launch from Romania and expand to other countries in Europe. So we have presence across the region. And our final goal is, of course, to expand globally in the United States. So how I like to say, we are a local company with regional presence and global ambitions. What makes a difference, we believe, is the fact that we are IT experts with a lot of experience in operational manufacturing processes. So we can look at what is happening at an operational level in the factory and be able to come with solutions in order to optimize. There are a number of challenges that manufacturing companies face. First of all, the lack of workforce, which is now becoming a problem not only in unskilled labor, but also in skilled labor. Sometimes when I talk about what we do with clients, people ask me, but George, what you do is taking people's jobs. And my answer is, no, it's not. Is there a queue at the factory gates of people who want to work in factories? Is there a queue of engineers who want to work in factories? Is there a queue of data analysts at the factory gate which want to work in factories? No, they're not. We all go to IT because it's nicer. So this is the purpose of technology. It's coming to amplify the job of the people who already work and to make them more productive and more efficient. So it's not necessarily about taking their jobs. So this is one challenge. The second challenge is what we call digital islands in the factories. So disconnected systems, data which is unstructured, which is stored in all sorts of files or systems, from the equipment PLC to Excel files, to paper, to ERP systems, MES systems, BI systems, SCADA systems, you name them, you all know the acronyms. All these systems are not integrated. Some of them are legacy. Sometimes the companies don't know what to do in order to integrate them. And this leads to a very big problem of not having real-time operational data in order to understand in any minute what is happening in your factory, what problems you have, who is the most productive, what machines are working best, and so on. And the last thing, which is becoming an increasing pressure, as we heard earlier, is the need for sustainability and carbon footprint reduction. Now, our approach in this part is, I believe, maybe just a bit different. We focus on what happens on an operational level. And we say that most of the emissions of a factory are coming from three elements. One is the raw material across the supply chain, of course. The second, it's the transformation that happens to the raw material in different forms. Yeah? And the third one is energy or utilities consumption. So these would be the three main aspects that generate the most emissions in a factory. And of course, until you start collecting data, monitoring, and understanding the emission patterns, there's really not many ways to reduce it. And I think there should be also a difference made between two concepts, which is carbon offset and then reducing emissions from your current activity directly. A lot of companies, manufacturing companies, don't have a lot of methods today in order to either offset carbon or reduce emissions. And they are what? Installing solar panels, maybe building a cogeneration station if you have enough funding, maybe building an energy efficient building, and so on. But a lot of people are not looking at what is actually happening in the factory. And this is what we come and propose. Okay, let's start collecting data. Let's start understanding what is your energy consumption per each point in the factory, because if you have a meter which is general across the factory and you look at how much you consumed, you know how much you consumed, but you don't know why, for example. So what we do in order to fix these problems is this not working? Oh yeah, okay, thanks. So yeah, these are some very nice numbers. Most of them are real, so what we do actually is we help in increasing the OEE, the famous OEE for each factory. And this is a real example. We had a client which in the first 6 months managed to increase his OEE by 25%. Of course, they didn't have any systems. They went from paper to a digital systems, so of course they discovered a lot of problems. Now they told us, don't put this number on the slides, people are not going to believe you, but it is true, and for those of you who want, we can give you a reference, it's not a problem. The data necessary for, the time allocated to data collection and reporting is almost gone, because you have automatic data collection and systems that can generate reports automatically as well. Now, how the platform looks like, it has 4 main components. We start from the first one, meaning automatic data collection and real-time production monitoring. Now, in terms of data collection, you can do it in various forms and various integration protocols. It can be extracted directly from the PLC of the equipment. It can be extracted via various hardware reasons, which are non-invasive and are much simpler to integrate. It can be collected and compiled from other IT systems. So we put all the data together and show in real time what is happening, including KPI calculations. The second step is to populate a set of operational reports with this data that we collect. So the reports are already done and good for analysis, let's say. You have reporting for availability, performance, quality, energy consumptions, carbon emissions, and so on. So any type of reporting that a continuous improvement manager could use, for example. But we didn't stop here. Technology is very advanced today. We are putting electric vehicles into orbit, and we are almost in 2024, so technology can do almost anything. The problem is the, let's say, skepticism of manufacturing companies when it comes to implementations and IT adoption. And this is coming from past experience, from lack of resources, and so on. Once you have a lot of data, you can start using machine learning, for example, in order to process it and start drawing conclusions. And our applications in terms of machine learning are two. One is monitoring of manual processes and operations in the factory, where you don't have any equipment, where people are working manually. And we use a technology called computer vision in order to see what is happening and recognize in real time, automatically, the products which are being made, the speed at which they are being made with. You can track assembly steps, you can track quality, and so on. And this is a solution which is already existent and implemented in factories here in Romania. The second applicability of machine learning is predictions. You can feed all this data that you have in some machine learning algorithms in order to start drawing some conclusions which the human mind couldn't actually possibly do in another way. So we can do, for example, what is called predictive maintenance or predictive performance. And the last step, you also need some outputs. You need some action plans and some concrete steps to follow. And this is where the virtual engineers come into play, which is, let's say, our own invention, if you will. They are the first AI-based assistants specialized in manufacturing. So we call them some chatbots who studied the Polytechnic. They have access to the data, they monitor the data, they can answer to any type of your questions, and they can also automate a lot of processes. So in this sense, you can do finer level optimizations, because once you have monitoring, okay, you've covered the main problems, but there is still room for improvement. And this is where a solution like the virtual engineers come from. So when we're talking, for example, about carbon emissions, which is, it looks like it's a very interesting subject for today, we can start collecting data from production regarding energy consumption. We can start analyzing it in reports. We can start processing it with machine learning algorithm in order to evaluate and anticipate the pattern of emissions. Yeah? And then the last step is for the virtual engineers to actually give you concrete steps and action plans in order to reduce carbon emissions from your activity, your current activity, which is manufacturing. So this is what we do, this is our approach, and this is how we think about digitalization in manufacturing. We don't really have a limit about the industry that we work for, and this is another, let's say, reason for companies not to talk to suppliers. It's because sometimes then people say, yeah, but in my industry it's very complicated, we produce something else. And it's fair, but we work with companies who make beer, we work with companies who make car batteries. The operational processes are the same. You have monitoring, data collection, reporting, continuous improvement, and so on. Some of our clients that we work with, you might recognize some of the names. And just a couple of words, we are a software as a service company, so in order to work with us, there is just one monthly subscription fee, which includes all the necessary components for the well-functioning of the system, from infrastructure, hosting, licenses, all the way to daily operational support. It's very fast to implement because it's already an existing product. It doesn't need software development, just configurations and adaptations to the client production processes. Okay, so I'm not going to go into more details about the platform, our founders, and everything we do, we don't do alone. We have a wide range of partners, either business partners or technology partners, which help us and assist us in building the solutions that I showed you earlier. So this is what I wanted to tell you for today. Thank you for your attention. I will be at booth number 47, and I'm looking forward to talking more with you. Thank you.
Mulțumesc, George. Iar acum, din partea CRG Industry Service, îl invit pe Paul Crețu să ne spună câteva cuvinte.
Thank you very much, and I invite Mr. Paul Kretzer from CRG to present.
2, 10. Nu o să vă cânt, nu vă speriați, nu vreau să vă dau afară. Bună dimineața, numele meu este Paul Crețu și reprezint compania CRG Industrial Services, fondată împreună cu partenerul meu din Italia, Nicola Giust, în încercarea de a crea o punte de legătură între România și Italia, după ce am analizat diversele lipsuri care sunt aici, principal lipsa matrițerilor și am încercat împreună cu el să dezvoltăm această rețea de a conecta România cu Italia pentru a putea face matrițe și dispozitive de control.
Good morning. I would like to present you CRG Industrial Services. We are a company Romania and Italian collaboration as we saw the needs of mattresses, manufacturing mattresses, lack of manufacturing mattresses in Romania. We thought of this collaboration and we implemented this, started this company.
Principalele noastre domenii de activitate sunt, după cum spuneam, plecăm de la proiectare CAD, avem un birou de studii în București, unde proiectăm dispozitive de control, dar și matrițe, iar partea de manufacturare, așa cum vă spuneam mai devreme, avem în Italia, împreună cu partenerii noștri de la Model Stampi, acolo unde ne-am făcut și ucenicia și am învățat toate lucrurile pe care le știm acum. Am lucrat o mare parte din ani acolo și, întorcându-mă aici cu sprijinul lor, am dezvoltat acest parteneriat.
We have the projecting CAD in Bucharest based and the manufacturing part in Italy. I personally worked in Italy and developed an experience there. Afterwards, I was supported by the Italian company to come to Bucharest and establish in Romania.
That is named Model Stampi. Okay. Nu facem doar asta, facem și programare CNC, consultanță tehnică pentru ateliere de specialitate, management de proiect, sisteme de prindere modulare pe care le reprezentăm în România ca și unici distribuitori și suport și consiliere pentru frezare și strungire, datorită experienței pe care ne-am făcut-o la fel în afară. Încercăm să implementăm și aici sisteme inovative care să grăbească procesul de lucru.
We don't do only projecting, we also do programming CNC, technical consulting, project management, and we are the only company that modular fixing systems in Romania. And we also do support and advising of for milling.
Aici avem câteva exemple cu domeniile noastre de operare. Sunt niște poze cu niște matrițe făcute chiar în atelierul de specialitate despre care vom vorbi mai devreme, de la Model Stampi, partenerul nostru de încredere.
There are some examples of matrices done by the Model Stampi, our partner.
Okay. Aici prezentăm și partenerii noștri, așa cum vă spuneam, de Model Stampi, FCS, care reprezintă sistemele de prindere modulare, și Manenti, care distribuie aluminiu și alte materiale pentru manufacturare.
Our main partners are Model Stampi, FCS Systems, that are producers of rail fixing systems, and Manenti, that is an important reference point on continuous development in aluminium.
Iar ca să scurtăm un pic, vă arăt un mic video de prezentare cu serviciile noastre și după aceea vă invităm la standurile 21 și 22 pentru discuții mai ample și pentru a înțelege mai bine ceea ce facem.
I invite you to visit our stand, and now I will show you a small video presenting our products.
Imaginile sunt direct din atelierul partenerilor de la Model Stampi.
These images are from our partners workplace, Model Stampi.
Iar aici sunt reprezentate sistemele modulare despre care vă vorbeam, pe care și ei le folosesc, bineînțeles.
We are represented the clamping systems that they use.
Am dorit să mulțumim domnului Georgescu pentru invitația acordată și pentru șansa de a ne prezenta. Birourile noastre sunt în București, așa cum vă spuneam, și de la începutul anului următor urmează să deschidem și un mic atelier de montaj și de control dimensional, pe care ne-l dorim foarte mult pentru că simțim un pic că ne lipsește, iar manufacturarea vom continua să o facem în Italia cu partenerii noștri, care au o eficiență foarte bună datorită faptului că lucrează cu sisteme inovative. Mașinile sunt toate noi, foarte dotate, cu schimb de paleți, astfel încât să meargă pe timp de weekend, pe timp de noapte și să câștige cât mai mult timp, care este cel mai prețios în zilele noastre. Vă mulțumesc pentru atenția acordată și vă invităm la standurile 21-22 să discutăm mai amplu despre ceea ce facem și cu ce ne ocupăm mai exact. Vă mulțumesc frumos!
I would like to thank Mr. Georgescu for inviting us to present.
Mulțumesc, Paul. Aș dori să vă mulțumesc pentru atenție, să vă urez o zi cât mai productivă astăzi și să vă spun câteva detalii tehnice, că multă lume, ca de obicei, întreabă. Parola de Wi-Fi este Expo Arad, într-un cuvânt, litere mici. Ar trebui să alegeți hala C. Prânzul la 12:40 o să aibă loc în sala din spatele panoului. Iar astăzi sper să fie cât mai productivă ziua, vă doresc mult succes și să fie totul așa cum vi-ați dorit, iar dacă noi putem să facem ceva, eu, domnul Adrian Sandu de la Asociația Constructorilor de Automobile, vă rugăm să ne solicitați, suntem aici toată ziua și suntem alături de dumneavoastră.
So I would like to thank you, and now some technical issues. The Wi-Fi code is, the password is Expo Arad, written with small letters, and you should choose Pavilion C. The lunch break will take place behind the scenes of presentation. And we wish you much success for today, and may all your business be great today. If you want to talk to me or to Mr. Adrian Sandu, you can find us all day here at the event.
Mulțumesc, thank you and have a great day.